Oh, so we're live, I guess.
And is this a test?
No, we're just going.
All right.
Oh, gosh.
Welcome to BookShelved.
Hello, welcome back.
I know. We took a little hiatus because life,
Honestly, I went on vacation, so that had a lot to do with it. But I think we kind of needed the little break.
We needed the little break. We had vacations. I mean,
The wedding.
the wedding, country fair.
Yeah.
And then I'm also finishing up at work. I'm in the process of moving before my other move.
I'm actually really proud of us for even being here today because I almost canceled.
I postponed yesterday because I was like, life is crazy and I did not get enough sleep last night and I feel like I can't sit in front of a camera and make sense.
Right. And our background has changed a little bit. There's a structure here now.
She's a working woman over here.
Yeah.
She has a full little business going on.
Right. The library has turned into a library and a bindery. That's the term.
Is it called a bindery?
Yeah.
That's kind of kinky a little bit.
I know.
You've been bound.
Bring some light into your life over here.
It's amazing.
You're a little dark.
I'm tan, that's why.
Lucky. I went on vacation, but it wasn't a tanning vacation. It was
like hot AF though everywhere.
I know, it was 100+ degrees everywhere we went. We went to on a national park tour. Oh, my kid knows how to open this door now. Gosh.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, he can open doors now. It's great.
Yeah.
It's really fantastic.
Wow. I'm going to use that lock now.
I know. But yeah, we went on a national park tour and it was hot. 107 was the highest it got in one of the places. I actually think it was hotter in Zion. Zion was
probably the reflection of the rocks and stuff, you think?
Yeah, I don't know. It was nuts.
Yeah, that sounds really hot.
But welcome back, you guys.
Welcome back. We've missed you guys because, we've posted, but we haven't recorded in a while because our last post was
just 2 weeks ago.
It was our Portland vlog.
And the haul will be up this Friday, and then this will be up Monday.
I'm so excited to see the haul on YouTube.
I know, we had a comment from someone saying they were excited for it, and I was like, sorry, it's been 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's okay. Life happens.
Yeah,
it's fine. But okay,
we're here to review last month's book, which was Abby Jimenez.
Just for this summer.
Just for the summer.
Jimenez. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this book was about. First of all, if you haven't read this book...
Oh, it's so freaking... This is my first Abby.
Me too. I'm obsessed. I will read
She's
again.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So it's about this guy who, whenever he dates somebody, it never works out, but then the person that he dates ends up finding their soulmate after. And so he made a Reddit post about it. And then this girl, Maddie... showed it to her friend Emma and was like, hey, this same thing happens to you. That's so funny. And so just kind of for fun, Emma messages Justin and they're talking about it. And she's a traveling nurse. So they end up planning that she's going to move to where he's at for a few months so that they can do an experiment and date each other. So then after they break up, they can both meet their soulmates. Perfect science. So
makes sense to me.
Makes sense. Obviously,
they're obviously not going to fall in love.
No, of course not. Fake dating never works that way.
Never works.
So they spend just for the summer, in Minnesota. Minnesota. Have you seen that one? What's that show called? Where they're in Minnesota.
Fargo.
Yes,
that's North Dakota. That's where I'm from. Fargo, North Dakota. Yeah.
Well, they definitely say Minnesota.
Probably because Fargo is close to Minnesota.
Yeah.
It's Fargo, and then Grand Forks or vice versa, but they're close to them.
Okay, yeah. That's a good show. Anyways, back on track. I'm all over the place today. And then there's other plot stuff that happens with their families. Both of them are going through some crazy stuff. And
real quick, that's kind of why I love this so much.
Yeah.
It wasn't just about the romance.
Exactly.
There was such a deeper meaning to this book, and it was so well done.
I agree. I feel like that's what sets her romance aside from the others, because there's actually, some oomph to it.
And I like that how, she wasn't the only one with the baggage. I like that they both had equally heavy baggage.
And I also like that like, for it being, like, a romance, fake dating trope, all that kind of thing, like, the baggage that each of them have, I feel like a lot of people can relate with, you know?
Yeah.
So I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, so her baggage is she was adopted when she was younger. Well, not officially adopted, right? Because she never,
Yeah, it was always, like, foster parents.
Yeah, but she was raised by her best friend's parents, and because her mom just kind of skipped town.
Yeah, like, neglected her when she was a young child, and, like, she like, asked her neighbors for food or something, and she ended up not, she starved because she knew if she asked her neighbors for food, they would call it in.
Yeah, so she was just kind of left on her own as a small child, and the mom just would always just disappear for, like, days and weeks and months at a time. Mm-hmm. And then so she just had this terrible mom, but she kept her in her life, and then the mom just became this, like, toxic person in her life her whole life.
Yeah.
But she still loved her mom and, like, tried to do everything she could to support her and stuff.
Yeah.
And
she didn't have a dad. Mm-hmm. So, like, her mom was her only person.
Yeah, and then throughout the book, her mom, so when she goes to Minnesota, they're staying at a cabin basically on this, like, rich doctor's property, which happens to be, the doctor happens to be their boss at the hospital they're working at. But they go to the house, and then up pulls this yacht with her mother on it with the doctor, because her mom came to see her but knew that there was this rich guy there. So she just casually showed up and got into this doctor's bed, basically.
Her mom reminds me of a gypsy. She's a gypsy.
Yeah.
Like, she just kind of goes around,
100%.
Takes what she wants. She's a little bit of a klepto. Mm-hmm. Kind of, like, definitely some undiagnosed, like, bipolarism.
Yeah,
I would say. So. Just absolutely in it for the money, and she's selfish. Apparently she's from Minnesota, so she knew, like, exactly where her kid was at. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Justin's baggage is his dad died in a car accident, and his mom started, like, smuggling money through...
she ended up...
what was it?
Not...
like, writing checks to herself?
Yeah, she was just taking money.
She was, like, doing some weird things to the books and was trying to just... She was taking, like, skimming off the top of it, mm-hmm. and not really legally recording that right. And so she ended up having to go to prison for, like, 6 years. Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And,
there's 3 other kids?
3 other kids, yeah. He has 2 younger sisters and a younger brother. And so he ends up having to move into her house and take care of the kids while she's in prison. And
Which, okay, his mom is amazing, though. Yeah. I freaking loved the chapter. There's a chapter where his mom and his mom's best friend get drunk. And it's the night before she goes to prison. And it is one of my favorite mm-hmm. chapters of the entire book. They are so funny.
They are so funny.
I was listening to it on audiobook, and that they did.
Was it one narrator doing all of the voices?
No, really? It was a guy and girl.
Okay,
and they did such.
So the girl that does Emma's voice was
doing the mom and the best friend. Yeah,
it was fun.
It was really good.
Oh, yeah. I kind of want to listen. Do you still have the audiobook?
Yeah,
I would be into listening to that little chunk of
that. We'll find the chapter and you can listen.
Yeah,
to
that sounds fun.
It's so good.
That sounds fun.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's pretty much, like, the gist of the book. There's a best friend, Brad, also, which is kind of this, like, background joke of, like, his best friend's name is Brad, and he was mad at his best friend because one of the girls that he used to date that didn't work out, she got together with Brad, and of course that's her soulmate now because that's his curse. Mm-hmm. And so out of spite, he adopted this, like, really ugly dog, and he named it Brad. And so then there's, like, human Brad and dog Brad. But Brad ends up being a cute dog because he just needed to be, like, taken care of. Yeah. So we're doing things a little bit different today. Ooh. Because I didn't want to pull from our normal questions that we do because...
I like that, though. We need to switch it up.
Yeah. So we're going to do... Which I don't love these questions in the back of the book, but I think that I love when books do offer book club questions. Mm-hmm. So I figured we could do these ones, and then that would be good. A good starting point for us to venture off from there. Okay. If you could live anywhere just for the summer, where would you live?
Just for the summer? You know, I'm pretty over the heat.
Yeah.
So I feel like I would want to live either in a pretty high elevation where it's nice and cool, or I don't know, like somewhere where like California's been great because I lived there for a long time, and it was, if you're close to the coast, it's never that hot. It's like 70s, sunny, nice. And that's just more my vibe now.
Yeah.
I over these 90, 100-degree days.
The summer has been so horrible. I've been so sensitive to the heat. I hate it. Yeah.
But if I had to choose an actual place, which is probably more fun, Bora Bora.
I was going to say that. I was literally going to say that.
Yeah,
Bora Bora. That sounds amazing. Yeah. I'm thinking, have you been to Tahoe before?
Yes, I love Tahoe.
I love Tahoe too. I've stayed there once, and it was for 4th of July a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I really loved it.
Yeah.
So I would say maybe there. And I've also read there's this book that I keep wanting to like tell you the name of it, and I can't think of it. I think I've told you about it before, but it takes place in Lake Tahoe. Mm. And it's such a cute book about these 3 sisters. Really? And so I read that.
Oh, yeah, you did tell me about it.
Yeah, I read that, I think, like a year or so after I went to Tahoe. And so it just made me love it even more because I like knew all the places they were talking about. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I need to be near water and near trees, essentially.
Yeah, same.
Honestly, Oregon 10 years ago, our summers,
really?
The best. So if I like wasn't working and I could just like live near a lake, like a clean lake. Yeah, our summers used to be way better. We used to only get into the super hot 90s and maybe hit 100 degrees one time, like at the end of August.
Oh, yeah, because even when we first moved here, it wasn't hot like this.
Yeah, the last 5 years have been
And we moved here
horrible.
in September, and it was warm, but it was never, like, miserable
September,
summer long.
Yeah, September used to be the best month because you could do all your camping. It was, like, starting to cool off a little, but the mosquito season was over. The lakes were warmer because they'd had all summer to heat up. But now everywhere's closed because of the fires during September.
Fires are so bad all the time.
And that started, like, 5 years ago.
Yeah, I just drove up to
4 years ago.
Blue River, and it's just tons of smoke there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sorry, guys, my baby's crying.
But yeah,
he's not really a baby anymore, my toddler.
I know. Oh my gosh. So big. I still have his birthday present at home. I forgot to bring it. His birthday was like forever ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that sounds fun. I want to go to Lake Tahoe now.
I know. We're moving. She's moving in a few weeks.
A month.
A
month and 2 days.
At least you're going to be here for my birthday.
I know. Oh my gosh. And I just, so my last day at my job is tomorrow, which is going to be after this gets released. Mm-hmm. And so I've been there for almost 6 years, and I have so many lovely, amazing customers, and I've started to get like some presents and stuff from them. And so someone gifted me a $50 gift card to Barnes & Noble.
Cute.
So do you know what the first book I'm going to buy is?
No.
What did I say I was going to read in September?
Magnolia Parks?
I know. I'm like, if there's one thing I'm for sure buying, it's Magnolia Parks. So I'm definitely buying that. And I'll probably buy Funny Story too.
You still haven't gotten that now. Yeah. I already finished that one.
But yeah, I know. What a good gift. Like, so freaking sweet. So
I love when they knew you enough to know like books. You know, like she likes to read.
I had a customer that was like, "Can I join your book club?"
Oh,
I know.
Yes,
I was like, follow us because like it's kind of like a podcast book club. But I was like, I'm sure at some point we're gonna want to bring some people on for a little book club episode. I think it'd be kind of fun. Yeah,
since we're gonna be doing over video,
virtual, yeah. Which I was thinking we should do Zoom.
We need to practice Zoom. Interesting. Yeah, we need to practice our video ones.
Yeah, so it might get a little wonky for a minute, you guys, but just bear with us because we're figuring stuff out. Mm-hmm. Okay, question 2. Have you ever met someone who acts like Amber? How did that relationship end up? Amber is Emma's mom, the gypsy.
I don't know. You go first, because I need to think on that one. I don't know. She was pretty terrible.
She was, I mean, honestly, I kind of know, like, quite a few people like her. Just, like, my dad and my stepmom hung out with, like, out in a small town of just, like, people that have chosen that path. So, no, they're not, like, I wouldn't say they're quite like Amber, but it wasn't an unfamiliar character to me.
Right.
If that makes sense.
I have a family member that has some characteristics that kind of line up with some of the things she did. But yeah, not to that full extent. Well, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much same. It's, like, very similar. Like, I see a lot of similarities with, like, the exact same as Amber. No, because I wouldn't say... Okay, so it turns out that Amber was lying to Emma the whole time and has another kid, and every year would go home to see her family.
She was an actual mom to this other kid where she wasn't to.
And she told Emma that she doesn't have parents, cousins, aunts and uncles, like, anything else.
Told her grandparents died, and then found out that they were alive just up until like a year previous.
Yeah, and she, like, met her brother, like, all this stuff. And so I've never met anyone that's, like, that secretive of, like, starting a whole new family. Yeah, like, that secretive of it. Mm-hmm. That's a lot. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, Nick is going to be so mad at me for saying this on here, but his dad, a little bit, honestly. Really? Started a whole new family. Yeah, and left him and his sibling. And just... But, like, it wasn't secretive. It was very much, like, he left and did that. He wasn't, like... I mean, he kind of circles back every once in a while, but... Yeah, I don't know. I've never met him, so I don't know.
Yeah. For how it ended up on our end is, I mean, people cut her out. She's not part of anybody's life.
Yeah.
She's probably on so many drugs she doesn't care anyways. But
yeah, exactly. Yeah, the people that I know out in Veneta because it's such a small town that it's like the like, bad parents that are out there, the kids I, like, went to school with, you know? Mm-hmm. And the ones that I know that had parents like Amber are all doing amazing because they've been raising themselves since they were kids, and they either have beautiful families of their own, or they are, like, mastered, educated, and doing good stuff, and they don't have a relationship with their parents.
That's good.
Yeah. So it's good to see people that, like, swim away from that instead of, like, sinking from that, you know, because it really, having a parent like that could go either way.
I know.
And I feel like Emma's a really good example of that, of just being, like, so, like, motivated. And yeah, I just think it was a really relatable relationship, and I'm glad that they are talking about that, and that they're talking about it with a mom like that, because I feel like you always hear about situations where the dad is like that. Right. And they're like, oh, whatever, like, it's the dad.
I get so tired, though, of books where the parents are trash. And I think it's because so many people can relate to it. But, like, a lot of times I kind of wish there were books where, like, can the main character have a good relationship with their family? Like, that would be great.
Well, Justin.
Yeah.
Justin had that.
You're right.
Which was nice.
Yeah.
But, like, you didn't get to see that part of it. It was kind of like the preface of it. Which
sucks. I wish the mom was main character energy in this book, too.
Yeah. But I think it'd be cool to have a book with the mom. Like, the mom being the main character, and, like...
Maybe fresh out of jail.
Or even, like, the whole story of, like, when her husband died.
Right.
And, like, that whole thing.
It reminded me that you only got a glimpse of the mom and her story, but, like, it reminded me of the Weeds, where the husband dies, and so she starts selling weed to make money for her family. And that's what this lady did. She started skimming money out the top to raise her family.
And it pisses me off. I was really glad that Emma could bring to Justin's attention of, like, always go into it with either sympathy or empathy instead of
grief.
Yeah, totally. Like, I feel like it's so messed up that she got in so much trouble for that. Like, yes, it's illegal. She shouldn't have done it. But, like, she was probation and pay it back. Going to prison, like, I feel like a really good lawyer could have helped her on that situation.
Because she was not it was almost like insanity, pleading insanity.
Yes,
you know, because grief
is a real, like, and I feel like there's not enough people that understand, like psychology that much of like grief makes people do crazy things, and she's a grieving now single mother of four kids.
Yeah,
like she didn't kill anybody.
Yeah,
you know, like
right.
I think her sentence was way too much, and I think Justin was way too hard. But he's also grieving his life, so it makes sense. But yeah, okay.
Next one.
Do you think Emma leaving to work on herself was brave or selfish? I have opinions.
I understand why she did it, but I didn't like it. I didn't agree that she should have that she jumped ship. So there's a point where when the mom goes, she finds out everything about her, like her family she didn't know existed and stuff. Emma flew. Like she's the type of person when things get hard or when things get too serious, she takes off, she runs. Yeah. And she did that to Justin.
And to Maddie.
And her best friend. She just pieced out and for like months. It was like 9 months or something like that, or it was a year. I don't know. It was a while.
Well, Maddie went with her for that one, but she was trying to leave both of them for all that time. Yeah, was it a year? Or was it 6? I think it was 6 months.
Yeah, it was long enough to be like, okay, like this is crazy.
Yeah,
and I don't think she should have done it, especially because Justin was so supportive through the whole book, and he was just like golden retriever, like just loved her, and he was there for her through everything without judgment. Yeah. And I know that that's her coping mechanism, but I didn't agree with it. She could have coped better.
I agree. I think, so I have like 2 different angles on this. The first angle, don't run away. Because, and like how she was just going to cut him off. Like, it made it seem like he was holding a secret from her. That's how she acted. Like, he was the reason that all this happened. Right. And I was like, grow up. Mm-hmm. But then her actually taking the time, like, and not how she went about doing it, but actually taking the time, I respect that she was like, okay, I can't give like half of myself to someone because there were kids involved. But do I think that she should have like pieced out for that long, no contact, nothing? No,
there should have been some sort of communication. She just left and cut him off completely. There should have been like texting, at least letting him know where she is, how she's doing.
Not to mention that he's going through an equally
difficult time.
Like, if anything, she just found out she has so much family where he's losing family. Yeah. And I felt like it was really selfish on like, I don't know, obviously she needed to take time to work on herself to maybe be less selfish because, and I'm not saying being selfish is bad all the time. I think you have to be a level of selfish that, like, society has made people feel like you need to be selfless, like, 100% of the time, and I completely disagree with that.
Same.
But I think that he was never asking for so much from her to be like, I can't even like talk to you right now.
And he would have given her space if she would have asked. If she was like, give me a few days to just like take this all in and figure it out, he would have been like, cool. Like, but I'm going to be right here when you need me, you know? Yeah. And instead, she didn't even give him the opportunity to be the type of rock that she needed.
No. But then, like, you bring Maddie along with you.
Right.
Yeah. And I have, like, thoughts on Maddie. Like, I love Maddie and Emma's friendship. I think it's great to have a girlfriend like that. I don't like how Maddie acted to Emma about Amber for, like, 80% of the book.
I know. I was like, come on, that's her mom, though.
That's her mom, and you're going to be that rude? Like, you have an issue with the fact that, she obviously didn't want to be adopted because she didn't want, like...
to give up on her mom.
Yeah, and it's like, yes, she needs to go to therapy. 100%. She needs to learn that she's like has a really bad attachment style to this and she needs to figure it out. But I think like being that rude to someone who just like, you have loving parents. Emma doesn't have that. And like, yeah, she got it from your parents, but that's not the same.
Right.
And I think that's the difference between people growing up in like a good household is they're like, but that is like, that's easy. Just do that. Whereas if you actually had some shit you had to go through, then you understand that kind of stuff.
Right.
And I think
she didn't have any of that, like, empathy towards her.
No. And it really made me upset because I was just thinking about, I obviously didn't have the same situation with my dad, but my dad definitely, like, he was an alcoholic. He did drugs. Like, he had his own demons that he faced. And so if I had my best friend that was, like, Oh my God,
just fuck your dad.
Yeah, I would
forget about him.
Yeah,
good riddance.
Yeah,
like, that would be trash.
I would be like, we're not friends.
Yeah.
No. Especially like, and then I was thinking about like, okay, well, what if I had a friend that was like, get over your grief, like with
God.
And like my ex was actually kind of like that a little bit. He's like, how do you think I feel? About losing my dad? I'm like, and so it made me think about that. It was like kind of triggering a little bit of like people that just like don't hold space for people going through things like that. And I get it, not everyone can understand and hold space, but like maybe you just need to like check yourself a bit. Like just shut the fuck up. Just check yourself. Like I don't know.
Agree. Yeah, I didn't like how she handled a lot of that. Every time her friend was like, the mom would come around and her friend would say these rude things, I'd be like,
no, honestly, it like, I bet people walked away from this book like, oh my God, Maddie and Emma. And I was just like, I remember Akio brought it up to me one day, like, oh, I love their friendship. Like, but I think he was a little bit further in the book. And I was just like, I don't like Maddie.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. I think she sounds like a great best friend to have in high school, but like in real life adult stuff, I feel like, yeah.
She had life a little too easily.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What do you think about Emma and Maddie's lifestyle? Oh, okay. Their lifestyle. We already talked about their relationship, but their lifestyle, traveling nurses.
Yeah.
I think it's dope, but yeah, it definitely gives them the, it creates a habit of like never putting down roots, and they talk about that a lot in the book. Is she never put down roots? She always had like lived out of her suitcase, and she never. I
wonder how many traveling nurses have
that same
abandonment issues.
Yeah,
because that's such a coping mechanism.
It'd definitely be interesting to see if that's a
the correlation
with traveling nursing, but
keeping
I think just because you're kind of a traveling nurse doesn't mean necessarily that you don't have a home base. You could say the same about like stewardess, flight attendants.
Yeah.
But they have a home base.
Yeah. Well, flight attendants, they can just travel for the day and then come home and be home at night. Like if you're doing like the little hopper flights.
Yeah, I have a friend. She was a flight attendant, international, and she would.
I wanted to be a flight attendant so bad.
I'm too afraid. I wanted to, and
you're
I applied for an airline. I know.
You wouldn't even come to Vegas because you were scared of a flight, and you were trying to be like waitress up in the sky.
But in my head,
crazy.
In my head, I was like, being a flight attendant will get me over my fear because I will be flying so much. That's where my head was at. But yeah, I know.
You're like supposed to be like helping people in like an emergency situation, and you're like,
we're fucking dying. The plane's going down.
I wonder if they would have hired you.
No. No.
Wow, that's fun.
Could you imagine?
Oh wow, no, not at all. That's funny.
I know.
That's hilarious, actually. That's so ironic. I love that. That's a fun detail.
There's a second part to this. Would you enjoy traveling and changing states every few months? I think I would, honestly, for a while.
So, yeah. No, when I was reading this book, I loved it. So I'm starting nursing school next month, which is why I'm moving. So when I was reading this book, I was like, the possibilities are endless with life. And one of the reasons why I want to be a nurse is to have the option to travel nurse. Right now, I have a dog, and I love her so dearly, so I would never do traveling nursing with her unless I would like be driving to like the place and posting up.
Are you taking Sophie? Did you decide?
I'm not taking her.
Oh, that's going to be really hard.
It's just so selfish of me if I take her.
Yeah.
Because we live on, like, so much acreage now. And she just gets to run around all day. She's, like, hasn't seen a leash in forever. Yeah. She's like, I don't even know what a leash is anymore. Yeah. And she would, like, when I have clinicals and stuff, I'll be gone for, like, 12 hours. Apartment. Yeah. And there's, like, the dog parks are, like, literally just, like, a strip of freaking turf. It's, like, not even real grass. There's no grass anywhere. She'd have to be on a leash all the time. But I did, like, I can bring her. I negotiated my terms to where if I want to bring her, I can. There's, like, no questions asked. And I am on the bottom floor, and I have, like, a little area out front. But I don't think I'm going to. I think it's going to be a
headache. Settled the first 6 months, and then if you're like, you think it's like
well, my last the only time that would make sense are my first, like the first 3 months because
all the exams and stuff.
It'll just be a little bit lighter, yeah. And also, it's like if I want to go and travel and do stuff over there, I can just take the train, and she can technically go on the trains if she fits in a bag, but that
just turned off.
But that would be a really big bag that she would have to be in. So I don't know. Like, I'm keeping it open to like make my mind feel better about it, but I'm feeling better. And also, like, her and Nick have the cutest relationship ever. It's like just so cute.
Do you plan to come home and visit in the year, or?
I don't really plan on it, but then like everyone, like Nick's family was like, I'll pay for you to come back for Christmas. Come back.
Oh, for the holidays. Yeah.
So I'm going to have a month off around Christmas.
Come back.
I am. So I'm making
film some pods with us.
That'll be fun. I'm making Nick come out, and then we'll come home together for Christmas, and then I'll go back for school. So I'll be home around then, but I think that's probably the only time. Because then, other than that, I'll have like less than 2 weeks off, and that's when you'll come see me. Yeah, it'll be fun. You're gonna fly.
You're gonna fly across.
You're gonna fly across the country. There's no water you're flying over, so that's good. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. Just do it.
Just do it. You better. March. You have to come out for my birthday. You're gonna do it. Okay, then drive. You can drive. Drive a week to come see me.
Babe, I'm going to be gone for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I have to go see Daniel.
Exactly. Yeah. So where I was going with that is that I would like to travel and change dates, but it would be very short term. That being said, so my mom's friend works at the hospital here in town, and she was talking to me about this neurologist that she works with. And he's technically a traveling doctor, but he's been there for years. So you get paid like a lot more money. And if you you just kind of stay as like a permanent. So I think there's some like loophole. Be like, I'm not from here and I can just be a traveling nurse. I don't really fully know how it works, but I think it's cool to have the option, and that's why I'm doing it. I want to be able to just be like super free with like, oh, and now I want to move here for a few months. I also think I could probably get like visas at other places way easier being a nurse.
Like other countries?
Yeah, like if I was like needed to peace out. We'll see. I don't know how all the logistics yet, but I like the doors have been opened, so I like their
Let's deal with you going to Pennsylvania first, okay?
I know.
Or Philadelphia.
Same, yeah. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. Next, have you ever felt small like Emma?
I thought that was an interesting thing they kept doing. I didn't know
it was very immature.
Yeah.
I'm too small.
I'm small right now. I'm getting small.
I'm on my island. I just felt like that felt a little cringe. I feel like
that was the one thing that
it lacked that like from that was the weak point of the book, I think.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was because I don't relate to that, but like even her friend when she's like she's small right now. I'm like
I know.
It was just weird. It was weird to me, and
if I was dating someone new and his best friend was like, he's feeling small right now, I'd be like, get the fuck over yourself. You're an adult.
And so the question was like, have you ever felt small? I felt like depressed, and that's more like an anxious, and I feel like that's kind of what she was going through. Like she was just in a dark place, and it wasn't like I think it's weird that like she'd go in these because that's what she was. She was feeling anxiety and feeling down, and then, but she just labeled it differently.
Yeah. When my dad died, I was in this like specifically like the week or two after he died. I think that's like the best way that I could describe how I was feeling was like that small. Which was not, I don't know if it was that or just like completely empty. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that's like kind of the feeling she had, which wasn't the same as like feeling like an anxious, depressed episode for me personally. Mm-hmm. But that I felt like hollow and just felt like the whole world is just moving on around me. Right. And nobody knows like how, like why is nobody else feeling the way that I feel right now is kind of, so maybe that feeling small of like the world doesn't stop for you kind of thing. So
Right.
that's the only time I could relate to feeling like small, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. The only person I've lost close to me was Johan's dad, and we were really close, and I felt pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like, really, even leading up to him passing, Johan and I both we spiraled in depression really hard, and we locked ourselves in our house, and we didn't come out for a long time. So I think
that kind of seems, yeah. Feeling like you need to confine. Yeah.
The small term is weird. I know.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I felt like for how good this book was, they could have come out with like another like metaphor, terminology, just different language altogether for that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I feel like it was quite the like excuse. Right. Like, oh, I'm feeling small.
You can't talk to her. You can't associate with her right now. She's small.
Yeah. Like, I'm like, are you talking about your toddler? Like, you know, like it seemed very like.
I love the book.
Like, I honestly feel like that knocks like half a star down for me.
I forgot about the small thing.
Me too. Damn, I was about to give this a 5-star. 4.75. Okay. Justin's mom did something really out of character while dealing with her grief. What are some things you've seen grief do to someone?
Yeah, we've talked about that.
We talked about that. I've seen grief do some crazy shit to some people, unfortunately.
Same.
And I feel like the possibilities are endless.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think after losing Bruce, Johan's dad, Johan and I have gone in and out of depression over that. And it's made us kind of close off to a lot of stuff and a lot of people. And I didn't launder money or anything, but
not yet.
Yeah. Just kidding. No.
There's still time.
Just kidding. There's still time. I'm still sad.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, I obviously had, like, I relate to all of that with my grief. And I think in the long run, my grief did some, like, pretty positive things for me. Like, I left a whole ass piece of shit man.
Good for you.
That was great. Shed a lot of weight there. Left an entire life, actually. So, yeah, I kind of just, like, pieced out.
Yeah.
And did the whole... I bought a house, got a degree.
So she's the product of positivity.
Yeah, so I got big. I didn't get so...
Yeah, she got big.
I got big. No, so I did that, and then I also became more selfish.
That's good, though.
Yeah.
I know we were talking about the negative selfishness, but
yeah, it depends on who you ask, because some people feel like if you're not willing to just give yourself to everyone all the time, then that's bad. And I have learned that, like, being selfish is, it depends. Don't be like a cunt, you know, but like, don't open up yourself to everybody all the time. Like, it's good to just lock yourself up a little bit.
Everybody listening right now is just like, Jesus! Daniel!
No, I just feel like I used to be like, I have to go and do stuff.
Right.
You know, but now I'm like, no, it's like better to close yourself off a little bit. Yeah, exactly. Protect your peace.
Right.
Yeah, but I've seen people ruin other people's peace with grief also.
Right.
I don't know. It's different for everybody. I think it depends on your upbringing.
There's no right way to
to
cope with grief and loss.
And like, because of, I feel like our experiences, that's why we think Justin's mom like doesn't deserve all that prison time, because I'm like, that's not the craziest thing.
Yeah, no. There's so
we're just like justifying that. I'm not.
It's okay to steal money.
Yeah, she's sad.
She's small.
She's just a girl.
She's small.
Yeah, she was feeling small. Judge, Your Honor, I'm feeling small, and I don't feel like I should have to go to prison. Yeah, okay. Would you ever put a wild baby animal in your shirt? So during the mom, Justin's mom and her best friend, there was baby raccoons that they found.
Oh yeah,
and they were trying to hide them from their Uber driver.
Fantastic.
So she hid them in her shirt. They got kicked out of the Uber, and they got kicked out of the taxi because they had baby raccoons in their shirt. And so they made Justin pick them up, and they still had them.
That had me in tears.
That was so funny.
I was dying. Like that, you have to listen to that audio part, that book.
I think I want to. I think baby raccoons are so freaking cute.
Oh, dude.
I would maybe put them in my shirt.
Funny story. As a kid.
Did you have a raccoon?
No, I did have a pet raccoon named Clicker. Very cute. They're just like cats.
Cute. Are they?
Yeah, they use litter boxes and everything. They're amazing. Their claws get really long, and that's the one downside is their claws are long.
They let you clip them?
I don't know if we ever did, but Clicker was amazing, and we called him Clicker because that's kind of the sound that raccoons make. Is they like click. I can't do it, but so his name was Clicker. It was amazing. We loved that thing. Wow. But funny story, I used to. Do you know what salamanders are?
Yeah.
So I used to go and get salamanders and put them in my shirt pockets, and I'd come home, and then my mom would like tell me
the poisonous ones.
I don't know, salamanders.
Does it have an orange belly?
I don't remember.
Or maybe there's another thing I'll call it. It's like a salamander, but it's not.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
I don't know,
anyways.
but I'd be out playing all day, and then I'd come home and I'd have these salamanders in my pockets, and Mom would tell me to go take my bath, and she came in and I'm swimming with my salamanders.
What did you do with them?
I think we let them go or something, but
wow.
I just was hanging out with my salamanders in my bath.
How old were you?
I was young. I don't know.
That's great.
Young. I loved them.
So funny.
And then
I have a spot for you to go then if you like salamanders.
Yeah.
Out Horton Pond.
Yeah.
I think there's a whole like BLM thing right now, like if it's gonna get drained or not. But it's out on Highway 36.
Really?
And oh no, they're like called something else. It's like salamander. And I'm saying they look just like
there's the poison ones out there. I don't know if I like salamanders anymore. I know when I was a kid I liked salamanders.
Well, not even like you don't need to touch them, but like Nick loved them as kids, like loved them, and I took him out there, and they're everywhere.
Really?
You look anywhere, and there's like 10 just right there.
They're super cool.
They are.
I'm a big lizard person now, but so maybe that came from my salamander stuff. But
probably
there was one time we grew up on motorcycles, and I was out riding with my uncles and stepdad and stuff, and it was downpouring, and I had a salamander in my pocket, in my little breast pocket, and I was on the back of my uncle's motorcycle, or the front. I was sitting on the gas tank, and I had the salamander in my pocket, and we start washing out. Like the motorcycle starts losing control because it was pouring so bad, and my uncle was like, "I'm going to throw you off the bike," because it was I'm sure he was right, but in our head, it's like, get you off the motorcycle. I'm going to go down with the bike.
Yeah.
To help protect me. We had helmets on, obviously. But this whole time, I'm holding my breast pocket because I'm like worried about my salamander. I'm like, oh my God. And he tosses me off the bike, and I'm just like so worried. I pull him out, and he's totally fine. And I was concerned about my salamander. I didn't care about anything else.
Did he know you had a salamander in your pocket?
I think so. I don't remember if he actually knew or not, but I was just worried about the salamander. I could care less about the motorcycle, about my uncle, about me.
You're like, throw me off.
I was like,
we gotta protect him. Oh my God. That's so funny. Wow.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
If you ever wear a shirt with like a pocket up there, I'm like never gonna think about anything
This is
else
probably
now.
why I was bullied through school. I was a weird kid with salamanders.
You have like bangs like this, and you're just like like a scene kid with your salamander. Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Wow.
Adorable.
That's really cool. I like that. That like makes sense. I'm like, I picture it. I don't feel like that's strange at all. Like, yeah. I feel like, that makes sense, Amanda. Yeah.
Of course Amanda had lizards in her pockets.
Yeah. Now she has a little boy. I mean, I'm surprised he's not. Has he ever seen a salamander?
No, but yesterday he held a crawdad for the first time. I'll show you the video.
I have a good spot to go crawdadding. We'll have to go this summer since I'm about to be an unemployed girly.
Sweet.
Yeah, I used to go crawdadding a lot as a kid. I'm still too scared to grab them, though.
I know.
We would use, like, milk jugs, and you, like, cut them out as, like, a little swoop and, like, holes in the bottom for the water to drain.
I'll grab one, but I won't go in the water and grab it for some reason. But I'll take it after, like, Johan catches it.
I stopped eating crawdads when my dad started making me clean the poop trap out myself.
We got a bunch of... We're going on tangents. Okay. accidentally got a bunch of crawdads during their mating season and cooked them with the eggs all under their bellies.
Oh, I've never done that before.
Don't. You'll never eat them again.
No, you feel bad?
Yeah. We couldn't eat them. We felt too bad.
Yeah.
But apparently, like, there's not a season for crawdads. Like, you can get crawdads all the time.
Oh, really?
They're just, yeah.
I think I'm
pretty sure they're, like, invasive. They're all over. But, maybe they're not invasive, but there's just so many that there's not a season or limit or anything.
I didn't know that.
And you just go get buckets of them.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to get buckets, like, when we were camping and boil them over.
Yeah.
I'm not really into that anymore, though. I don't know. Having to clean out the poop traps myself, I'm over it. Last question. Is Justin the asshole?
Oh, no. So, I think he's funny.
Yeah, I love him. I love that he had date surveys. Yeah. So after they went on their first of all, before their first date, he was like, had her answer a questionnaire so that he could know how to like curate the date for like what she wants. And then after the date, it was like post-date survey. Would you want to date with him again?
Yeah. I thought it was so funny.
And the invitation, he would like make invitations to the dates also. I'm obsessed with him. But I was thinking like it's all fun in the books, but like would that give me the ick?
I know. I was kind of thinking that. I'm like, that's kind of when I was listening to it, I was like, what I want.
I'd be like, are you trying too hard?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I would find it funny. Because it's
I would
so
find
different.
it funny. I feel like I'm attracted to like a guy that gives off like mysterious, like asshole vibes a little bit.
Yeah.
So if you're just like giving me too much all over, I'm like,
I think I like the questionnaire before dates. I don't think I would like the rate this date kind of thing, and then would you date me again? I think that would be too much. That'd be like trying to get compliments kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, well, okay, because they weren't like dating for real, I think maybe it was like a little more permitted. But if it was like, oh, I just met this guy, we're gonna see if this goes forever, then I would maybe be like, but because they're like, oh, there's an end date, it's like kind of silly. Like, let's just go with the role.
Right.
I don't know, but I loved him so much. I'm obsessed with him.
The question is, he the asshole? Is that it? Is because on his Reddit post at the end, he was justifying naming his dog after his friend. And so he was like, am I the asshole for naming my dog?
Or is Brad the asshole?
My ugly dog. Or is Brad the asshole? And throughout the whole book, it's like, am I the asshole? You know?
Yeah.
And it was a funny part of the book. And I don't think. No. I think it was funny.
I love him. Yeah. I think he's great.
The proposal at the end was funny, too.
I forgot about the proposal.
Did you read he proposed to her in front of... There was toilets and all sorts of stuff because he lived in an apartment that had a giant ad outside for a toilet company.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he proposed in front of like that sign with toilet and like all this stuff. It was really funny.
Oh yeah, and his Reddit name is Am I the Asshole?
Yeah.
Also. Yeah, I'm obsessed with this book.
What would you rate it?
Well, I was going to rate it a 5 until we realized the small, so I would say 4.75.
Same. Yeah, because it was a close 5-star, but it's not perfect.
Akio loved this book.
Did he?
He loved it. Good. Yeah. And we both agreed it's like because of the, like, there being the plot in there. Yeah. Because it was like a cute, like, romance. I loved when she was so sick and he, like, was on the freaking, was it a flamingo floaty?
Yeah.
That he was just like paddling out of the island. I thought that was so cute.
I want to say someone bound this and they had a flamingo floaty on
cute.
It. Yeah,
I'm also obsessed with this cover.
I know.
The colors are so beautiful. Mm-hmm. I devoured this book.
I know. I think I finished it in a couple days.
Yeah, you finished it really quick.
I was listening to it, but I couldn't stop listening to it, which is rare for me.
The last half of the book, I just read it nonstop.
Also, I just finished The Women, the audiobook for The Women.
Mm-hmm. Are you just like all audiobooks these days?
No, I finished that on our road trip.
Oh, okay.
But I was listening to that one, and I cried so much to that damn book. That is so good. It was my first Kristen Hanna book.
Was it like sad?
So it's about nurses during Vietnam. So military nurses during Vietnam. And oh my God, it was so good. And then a lot of the end of that book is like the last like third of that book, maybe half. I don't know. I was listening to an audio. Is after the war, like not. Yeah, after the war, and she's home, and then the lack of acknowledgement women got, they, as a lot of people were like, there were no women in Vietnam. It's like, if you didn't see a woman, you're one of the lucky ones, or you're unlucky because you died out there. But we, like, no one acknowledged their service, no one acknowledged the fact that they were over there, to the point where the VA didn't acknowledge their service and wouldn't help them. Like, she had massive PTSD after, and they wouldn't help her. The VA turned her away so many times.
VA sucks in general. They like are doing they've done nothing for my grandpa either, and he was in Vietnam. Yeah, also.
Johan has had tons of struggles with the VA.
They're horrible. We had to get my grandpa like state insurance.
Yeah, that's why people waiting for help from the VA die, because no one's there to help them, and because there's no help. Like they don't have the staffing for it, and like their appointments, it's like, hey, can I get an appointment? Yeah, like 3 months.
Yeah, like now. We don't. They literally told my grandpa, we don't have any doctors.
Yeah,
we can't get you an appointment.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's so messed up. So is this a real story?
It's probably based on truth stuff, because I'd imagine. Is it
a novel? Is it a novel? Because that means that it's real events.
Real events.
That was crazy. Yeah, learning that. I didn't know that either. And when I like Googled it, he was right.
Yeah, I was so obsessed with it to the point where, like, driving home, Johan and I were like mapping out how I'm going to bind my own edition, because it is so good. I highly recommend you read that one.
Yeah, that I'll have to when I'm back home, because I feel like I don't know if I can read that many sad books while I'm away. I'm already going to be so sad. I'm by myself.
It's a work of historical fiction, not a true story. However, the novel is based on extensive research and conversations with female Vietnam veterans to accurately depict the experiences of nurses who served in the war.
What a cool concept.
It was
really bringing light.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
And man, Johan and I should do a podcast where we talk about that book, because
he
listened to it too. And like,
was he had crying also?
No, but he had very different views about it than I did, and I know it's like. Ooh. I was probably like thinking of it completely different because I'm a woman. Yeah. And like he was thinking about it completely different because of probably his, like, I don't know, like his service and like all this stuff. Because his time in service, he had like a certain perspective on things that I don't have. And like we were talking about it, and like I was getting a little like heated. I'm like, because I'm like, he wasn't like siding with me. He wasn't understanding my perspective, and I wasn't understanding his perspective. So it was just like such a, like, to the point where I was like,
wow. Maybe I should read it sooner, and then we should all have a discussion.
You should.
That would be
like
fun.
Seriously, it's so good.
Okay.
With that little gift card you got.
Yeah, I should get it. Yeah. Okay. So good. We'll have to go there together.
Yeah. But thank you guys.
Yeah.
Here is our book for this month.
For August. We're a little behind. It's summer. We have reasons.
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah. So I hope you guys loved July's book. If you haven't read it yet, read it. I'm obsessed with it. It's so good. It was the perfect July book, honestly. I felt just good, you know?
Me too.
So this next month's book for August is a Taylor Jenkins Reid book, and it's called Forever Interrupted. We debated if we wanted to do this book for August because it seems...
Did I buy that one?
You did buy it.
Okay, good.
Like, where are your new books? Oh, it's right there. The red one with the green. So we debated doing this book this month because it might be... I can't tell if it's going to be more romancy or if it's going to be just like...
It's Taylor Jenkins Reid, so it's not going to be heavy romance.
Yeah. Well, like... Or if it's going to like lean on like mild, or if it's going to be just like totally rip your heart out.
Right.
So Elsie Porter is an average 20-something, and yet what happens to her is anything but ordinary. On a rainy New Year's Day, she heads out to pick up a pizza for one. She isn't expecting to see anyone else in the shop, much less the adorable and charming Ben Ross. Their chemistry is instant and electric. Ben cannot even wait 24 hours before asking to see her again. Within weeks, the two are head over heels in love. By May, they've eloped. Only 9 days later, Ben is out riding his bike when he is hit by a truck and killed on impact. Elsie hears the sirens outside her apartment, but by the time she gets downstairs, he has already been whisked off to the hospital. There she must face Susan, the mother-in-law she has never met, and who doesn't even know Elsie exists. Interweaving Elsie and Ben's charmed romance with Elsie and Susan's healing process, forever interrupted, will remind you that there is more than one way to find a happy ending. So that last sentence makes me feel like, is it going to be gut-wrenching, or is it going to be like a beautiful twist of a negative situation? Yeah. I don't know, but I'm very interested, and I'm interested because you've read more of her books. I've only read 2 of her books. If there's going to be some Easter eggs from her other books. You said there's like a little bit.
Not for this stuff.
Yeah,
okay. She has a totally, like, these are her books prior to her Hollywood series.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, this one, down here it says, and they probably just came out with this cover after.
Right. Yeah, I think all this stuff.
When was this book? 2013.
I wonder if she was if these were, if she was an indie author before these.
So down here it says, which this is interesting, having like down here like the things in it, but it says grief, fiction, loss, and female friendship.
Oh, I wonder if those are like subgenres or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But we're excited.
Yeah,
to read this. I'm always excited for TJR. She's
me
amazing.
too. The what is this called? Dedication page. It says to Linda Morris for reading the murder mysteries of a 12-year-old girl, and to Alex Reed, a man the whole world should fall in love with.
Aww.
So I'm wondering if some of their romance is inspired by her own with her husband.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, get this book.
Read it with us.
We have 3 more weeks left of the month, roughly.
Yeah.
Like 3.5. So read this book, and then
we will have a discussion, and
it'll be
September, probably our last in-person.
Wow.
I know. And then September, just so you guys know, September we are not going to have any episodes, and we're other than the book review, and we're also not going to have a book of the month. This is going to give us like a break between seasons. So this is season 1 of the podcast, and then we'll start season 2. And then it's also going to give Danielle lots of time to travel across the freaking country and get settled in her new state.
Yes, and have to get ready. I start nursing school in September. I'm like getting a whole place together by myself.
Yeah. So we need this month to like be able to figure out this new season. But and we'll be back October 1st.
And then we're going to kind of explain our new layout of how things, because we're not going to be in the same room, and we're going to format things a little bit different. So we're still going to have books of the month and all that good stuff.
We already have the books planned for the year.
We do. I'm so proud of us. Mm-hmm. It means that everything we buy at Powell's is free.
Read. It's all free.
What'd you say?
Is getting read.
It's getting read. Yeah. Like, I don't know. We bought it for the podcast, so it was different.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, right? It's not like it's going to sit on your shelf, which I feel like is different from when you normally buy books. I feel like they like I'm going to read
Stop it. All right. Thank you guys so much.
Signing off.
Bye.
They do that?